Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to all members and also Madam Zanaria. My name is Nuiza Najat binti Muhammad Farid Bishiti with matric number 050581, and I'll be continuing the presentation within my part, which is key element of trust in negotiation.
What is trust? Do we need trust in relationship? Is it important? And how do we develop trust? Many of the scholars who have written about relationship have identified trust as central to any relationship. Daniel McAllister, professor of management at UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, defined trust as an individual's belief in and willingness to act on the words, actions, and also decision of another.
Nowadays, it is very difficult to make a deal if there is no trust between counterparts. Even if one managed to make such a deal, it would be very challenging to implement it. Building trust is absolutely essential in any meaningful long-term relationship, regardless of whether you are buying, selling, or resolving conflict. We will dive into three things that contribute to trust. Firstly, individual's chronic disposition towards the trust. Secondly is situational factors, and lastly is history of the relationship between the parties. Okay, firstly that I told before is individual's chronic disposition toward the trust. Normally, people generally start the relationship in negotiation with high level of trust even without data about the situation and other party. Individual motives shape expectation of trust. Personally, differences shape expectation.
Some individuals have greater disposition to trust, while others have a strong disposition to distrust. And actually, emotions contribute to trust or distrust. For example, if you start a negotiation with an anger or any negative emotions, it is likely to contribute to distrust and more competitive behavior. While if you start the negotiation with some hope and also positive emotions, it is likely to contribute to trust and more cooperative behavior.
It is actually depend on the individual itself. Okay, moving on to the second thing that contribute to trust, which is situational factors. The nature of the negotiation process shapes that trust expectation. Parties who expect more distributive negotiation are less trusting their parties who expect integrative negotiation. Okay, face-to-face negotiation encourage greater trust development than online negotiation. Negotiators who are representing others' interests tend to be less trusting and less trustworthy than if they were representing their interests. Okay, let's say you are buying anything from the online.
When we dealing through online, the risk of getting scammed is higher than interacting in face-to-face. For example, if you negotiating face-to-face, you can ask right away if you have any inquiries. Meanwhile, this doesn't happen in the case of online shopping. All you can do is to see the picture and read the description.
If you are negotiating with face-to-face negotiation, you are tend to see her language body, eye contact and all, and then you can know right away if she tells a lie or not. And then it also encourage us to be more trustworthy within the negotiation. Okay, moving on to the last thing that contribute to trust, which is history of the relationship between the parties. If the relationship between the parties in past was bad and wasn't went well, which is lots of conflict that happened where the negotiation wasn't went well, negotiators will look at current negotiation as win-lose situation. Okay, let's say if you are was once being cheated by our counterpart, where she or he did not disclose the truth, and finally the negotiation didn't succeed at all. As we had this kind of experience, we tend to be more careful in the future. Plus, we exactly know how to deal in this kind of situation and handle the problem as soon as possible. And now we are going to talk about trust repair. A lot of research clearly indicates that trust improved negotiation processes, lead to more integrated negotiation processes, and frequently produces better negotiation outcomes. The link between trust and positive negotiation processes and outcomes is so critical. An effective negotiator needs to be cognizant of ways that broken trust on can be repaired in order to return negotiation to be more productive. Research has shown that there are three major strategies that a trust violator can use to repair trust.
Firstly, verbal accounts. Negotiators can use words or emotional expressions in an effort to repair the violation of trust. Apologize, explanations, and so forth are all efforts to address the target of the trust violator. Apologize are the most common way used by any negotiator. Apologize with an expression of regret for the offense, an explanation of why the violation occurred, and also declaration of repentance for causing trouble, and lastly, offer to repair the impact of the violation.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry too.
Okay, the second way to repair trust is through reparation or fair compensation to the victim for the consequences of trust violation. Several people argue that apologize and other verbal account are no more than cheap talk, and that direct compensation is the only effective way to repair trust. One study showed that while apologize enhance the effectiveness of trust repair, making a financial offer or penance was more essential to any trust repair effort.
Sorry. Give money. Yes.
Okay, finally, the third approach is through structural solution, or we call it effort to create rules and regulation and procedure to minimize the likelihood of trust violation in the future. These rules and regulation can be strengthened by also creating fines and penalties for rule violation. Both reparation and regulation can be effective if it was clear to the victim that this intention they signal intended penance by the violator. To make it simple, we need to say that before starting the negotiation, you clearly stated the rules and regulation of the relationship, that meaning to say that you already listed the thing that you can do, the thing that you can agree with, some kind of. Okay, you must be wondering how to gain trust in negotiation. How do we make our partner to trust in us? Okay, I have 3 keys to gain trust in negotiation. Firstly, build rapport before discussing business or before negotiating. You have to try to get to know your partner part and build a relationship with them before discussing an agreement of negotiation and anything at business. You have to know your partner first. Okay, secondly, set reasonable expectation about trust. We all know that trust is very important. Trust is very good policy, but bear in mind that avoid trusting right away about your counterpart into the relationship. Proceed with cautions and aim to build more and more trust over time. Consider discussing with your counterpart an explicit strategy for building trust in each other over time. Meaning to say that you please don't trust your partner right away, like you just meet her in the meantime and then you started to believe her more, and don't blame me if you got cheated in the future. Okay, thirdly, if communicate effectively. Communication is the key after all. To be a good negotiator, you must choose your word wisely and carefully. Use words and nonverbal communication that resonate with your counterparts. For example, using their jargons, trade terms, speaking in their native language, and adapting their local custom to demonstrate that you are concerned about your counterpart, you are respect and value them. Finally, to conclude my presentation, what is the benefit of trust after all in negotiation? Firstly, you bear in mind trust cues corporate behavior, and secondly, trust enhances the sharing of info in the negotiation, and greater info sharing generally leads to a better negotiation outcomes. And next, parties who trust each other tend to communicate more by using question and answer in order to share info and to understand others' perspective. And lastly, parties who trust each other less tend to argue because they listen to their partner more and less to listen to their perspective. And thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you understand. Thank you so much.